Hello, my dear students, good morning. Students, let's start reading the next part in this chapter, Ranga's marriage. Okay, so we have to start right from this, the second passage at page number 17. We have some mango trees in our village. Come visit us, and I will give you a raw mango from one of them. Don't eat it, just take a bite. The sourness is sure to go straight to your Brahmrandra. Brahmrandra. I once took one such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All of us ate it. The cough we suffered from after that. The cough we suffered from after that. It was when I went for the cough medicine and the doctor told me about the special quality of the fruit. Okay, we have some mango trees in our village. Through this statement, the author tells us that there are so many mango trees in Hosahalli, in the village Hosahalli, in their village Hosahalli. Come visit us. Through this short statement, the author invites all his readers to visit Hosahalli, and I will give you a raw mango from one of them. As soon as okay, some of us go there, the author will give us a raw mango, which is still to be ripened, which has not been fully ripened. Okay, the author will give us a raw mango from one of those old mango trees. He pluck a raw mango, इसको कैरी बोलते हैं, कच्चा आम, and he will give us that the raw mango. Don't eat it. The author will also tell us that we should not eat that the raw mango, okay, which is not ripened till now. Just take a bite. The author will ask us only to have a bite, take a bite on that raw mango. The sourness means bitterness. The sourness is sure to go straight to your Brahmrandra. Brahmrandra stands for beta part of skull. Okay, internal part of the skull. As soon as we take a bite of this raw mango, the sourness will surely affect the internal part of our skull खोपड़ी. उसका खट्टापन सीधे हमारी खोपड़ी से जाकर टकराएगा. हमारी खोपड़ी में बिल्कुल एकदम बहुत तेज हमला सा करेगा. I once took one such fruit home. On some day the author Masti Venkatesha Iyengar, okay, took such a raw mango, okay, his home. He took such a raw mango his home, and a chutney was made out of it, and a chutney was made using that the raw mango. All of us ate it. When all the family members of the author had made a chutney, okay, using that the raw mango, okay, they also ate it. They also ate the chutney. The cough we suffered from after that. Oh, when they had eaten the chutney made by that the raw mango, okay, they all okay had to suffer a lot due to long coughing, and they got really such an unexpected coughing, and they threw out some cough also. It was when I went for the cough medicine. Okay, the author had gone to buy some medicine at the medicos, and the doctor told me about the special quality of the fruit, and the doctor at that medicos told the author that he should not buy any medicine. If he had been called, or if any one of his family members had been called by heavy cold, so he should pluck a raw mango from the mango tree, and make a chutney, okay, of it, and that the chutney should be eaten by the same person who had been caught by heavy cold, and thereafter he would surely feel so much relaxed. And the same process was followed by the author, and his all family members who might have been caught by some heavy cold felt so much relaxed. Okay, instant relaxed. They got instant relaxed when they ate the chutney made of the raw mango, जिसको कैरी बोलते हैं, कैरी, कच्ची कैरी. Just as the mango is special, so is everything else around our village. Through this statement, the author tells us that just like the mango tree, each and everything in Hausa Ali is very famous and special. Not famous but special. Each and everything has its great importance. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water. Ever so fine stands for very clear water. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water of the village pond. Okay. Through this statement, the author tells us that there is a open pond in the village Hausahalli, and in that pond a creeper has also grown there. Okay, in the fresh water, in the clear cut water, in the water of the pond, and one can see that the creeper growing there in that very clear water of the village pond. Its flowers are a feast to behold. Oh, when a person looks at the flowers of this creeper, he gets highly attracted to it, and he gets highly attracted. He thinks that he should look at the same flowers continuously. Okay, the flowers of this creeper are really very attractive, highly attractive, fascinating. Okay, feast to behold means worth looking. Feast to behold means WORT is worth looking, appreciating, देखने योग्य. Its flowers are a feast to behold means the flowers of this creeper growing in the fine, fresh, clear water of the village pond. Okay, look really worth praising, worth looking, worth appreciating. Get 2 leaves from the creeper when you go to the pond for your bath, and you will not have to worry about not having leaves on which to serve the afternoon meal. Oh, when the people go to take a bath in the village pond, they may get 2 leaves. They may pluck 2 leaves from that creeper, and thereafter they will not have any kind of worry regarding, okay, the meal time, whether it is the time of breakfast, it is the time of lunch, it is the time of dinner, since those two plucked leaves will surely work as an utensil, as a container, and one can easily serve the food on those large two big sized 2 leaves, and can easily take the food. The food can be served on the leaves of this creeper, and one can easily use the leaves as for the utensil. So there will be no need to get worried. Okay, there will be no need to get worried about having, okay, any kind of utensil if the leaves of the creeper are plucked out. 2 leaves, 2 पत्ते जो है ना, उसके 2 पत्ते वो कहता है कि उन दो बड़े बड़े पत्तों को तोड़ करके लाओगे तो पत्तल के रूप में काम करेंगे। वे दोनों के दोनों पत्ते जो हैं वो इतने छोटे छोटे पत्ते होते हैं कि उनके ऊपर आराम से भोजन रख करके और भोजन को ठीक प्रकार से सर्व किया जा सकता है, परोसा जा सकता है, खाया जा सकता है। यू विल से आई एम रैम्बलिंग। नाउ द ऑथर सेज दैट his readers will surely call him, okay, call him a big boaster, okay. Now the word ramble stands for just like a person who, okay, appreciates him. Exaggerating, rambling means exaggerating. Exaggerate means say something in extended form, say about something in in such a way that cannot be believed by anyone very easily. So you will say I am rambling. So the author thinks that his readers okay might get suspected hearing such kinds of words from him, and they may also call him a big rambler. A big rambler, okay, exaggerator. It is always like that when the subject of our village comes up. Whenever the author talks about the things of his village, he forgets each and everything, and he gets fully involved in appreciating all the things of his village. Beta. That's why it is quite necessary for the author to appreciate. It becomes quite necessary for the author to appreciate all the things of his village. But enough. But now he wants to stop himself. But now here at this point he wants to stop himself. Okay, talking about any more things of his village. If any one of you would like to visit us, drop me a line. Through this statement, the author directly gives us his invitation, saying it that if any one of his readers wants to visit Hausahalli, he or she should write only a letter to him so that he can be able to receive the same person. I will let you know where Hausahalli is. Okay, the author will surely help the visitor where his village Hausahalli is exactly located and what things are like here and what kinds of things are worth seeing there in the village village Hausahalli. Okay, the author will surely help the visitors to know about each and everything very clearly. The best way of getting to know a place is to visit it. Don't you agree? Through this statement, the author firstly tells us that if we want to know something about, the village or any other place, so we will have to go there and see the same place practically. Through this statement, the author tells us that it is quite logical. It is quite logical that if we want to know something about a place, a village, okay, in complete details, so then we will have to pay a visit there and we will have to experience all the things quite practically. Then we will be able to know about each and everything very clearly. He also gives us a tag question, asking it whether you will be agreed or not. We will have to be agreed. What I am going to tell you is something that happened 10 years ago. Now in this next passage, the author tells us regarding the same incident which had taken place 10 years ago in his village. We didn't have many people who knew English then. Around 10 years ago, now he is not talking about this the time, but he is talking about that the time when he wrote the story. Okay, so in those years, at that time in the ancient time, at that time in the past, at that time in the past, okay, or we may say in the past, when the author wrote this story, 10 years ago, 10 years back, there were not so many people in his village who knew English. There were not so many people in his village, Hosali, who knew English very well. No, there were only few people. There were only a few people who used to read English, learn English, and speak English. Our village accountant was the first one who had enough courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. Oh, it was only a single one person, the accountant. It was the accountant living in the village of the author. It was the accountant and it was the first person. Okay, it was the accountant in the village of the author who took such a courage, who got such a courage to send his child, to send his son to Bangalore, okay, to pursue studies. Our village accountant was the first one. Again, I would like to explain it for you. There was an accountant who lived in the village of Hosali. Okay, it was the first person, it was the only one first person who had, okay, who had enough courage, who had got such a courage to send his son to Bangalore to study. Okay, study. Okay, beta, 1 minute. It is different now, but nowadays the picture is totally different. The situation is totally different. In the past, a very few people used to have so much money and they could hardly spend much money on the education of their children. That's why it was totally difficult for the common man to send his child, to send his son or daughter to some city to get studies, to get higher education. There are many who know English. Okay, nowadays there are so many people in Hosahali who can speak English very fluently. During the holidays, you come across means meet. During the holidays, you come across them on every street talking in English. Okay, on the off days, during the holidays, one can meet a number of people. Okay, on each and every street road, walking here and there, talking in English. Those days we did not speak in English. But in the ancient time, a very few people used to speak in English. Nor did we bring in English words while talking in Kannada. Whenever people used to speak in their regional language Kannada, they never used English. They simply used their regional language, their local dialect, their local language. What has happened is disgraceful, believe me. So now the author tells us about the incident, what happened in his village Hosahali, and it was really a very disgraceful incident. Okay, believe me. The author tells his readers that they will have to believe him. Okay, they will have to believe him. The other day stands for on some day. The other day means on some day. I was in Rama Rao's house when they bought a bundle of firewood. The author was sitting in the house of Rama Rao, who was also, okay, the person of his village. On some day, किसी एक दिन, on some day means किसी एक दिन, the author was present at Rama Rao's home or in the house of Rama Rao. When he was sitting there, okay, he also noticed that the family members of Rama Rao bought a bundle of firewood. In the presence of the author, the family members of Rama Rao bought a bundle of firewood. Rama Rao's son came out to pay for it. It was Rama Rao's son who came out to pay for the bundle of for that bundle of firewood which was bought by the by the family members of Ramarao. रामाराव का लड़का जो था उस खरीदे गए ईंधन के रूप में जलाए जाने वाली लकड़ी का जो बंडल जो गट्ठर खरीदा था उसका भुगतान करने के लिए वह वहाँ पर आया. He asked the woman. He also asked the woman, how much should I give him? How much should I give you? Okay, 4 pice. 4 pice. She said. Okay. See, firstly the son of Ramarao asked the woman who was selling the firewood there. So he asked, how much should I give you? He asked her how much he should give her, how much amount, how much money he should pay her for her firewood. 4 pice. 4 paise. Okay. She said, the boy told her he did not have any change. The boy told her that he did not have any change and asked her to come. He did not have any change and asked her to come the next morning. Okay. And he also asked the lady, he also asked the woman to get the money of her firewood the very following day, following morning. The poor woman did not understand the English word change and went away muttering to herself that the poor woman could not understand the meaning of the word change, and she went away speaking some words to herself. Muttering means speaking some words to herself. Inaudible voice, in an inaudible voice, inaudible voice. I too did not know. Oh, by that day the author was also unknown to that word. Later, when I went to Ranga's house and asked him, I understood what it meant. But soon after it, when the author visited Ranga's house and he asked him what the real meaning of that word was, Ranga told him, and it was the first time when the author came to know about the meaning of that word. This priceless commodity, the English language, was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. Through this statement, the author tells us that around 10 years ago, a decade means 10 years ago, this the priceless commodity, the valuable commodity of Kannada, of Hosahalli. Okay, this is the priceless commodity. The English language was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. This priceless commodity, the English language, was not widespread in our village a decade ago. Around 10 years ago, when the story wrote the story, through this statement, he wants to tell us about that time when he wrote the story, and before that day, when he started writing the story, 10 years ago, okay, 10 years ago, there was no so much influence of the English language on the minds of the people living in Hosahalli. That's why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. It was the only reason people took Ranga's homecoming as a very great event. People rushed to his doorstep. Doorstep stands for here, threshold. The threshold means doorsill. दहलीज जिसको बोलते हैं, दहलीज. People rushed to his doorstep announcing. Oh, when the people living in Hosahalli came to know it that their accountant's son Ranga had already returned to their village, they started rushing to the house of Ranga, announcing, making such kind of announcement. The accountant's son has come. Okay. People were shouting, people were announcing it, and they were also running. They were also going to Ranga's house so hurriedly. Rush means go to some place hurriedly, declaring it that the accountant's son has come, that the accountant's son had come, that the accountant's son had come in the past form, in that speech. Since my explanation is here now in the past tense. The boy who had gone to Bangalore for his studies is here, it seems. They also announced it, they also told each other that the boy, the child of the accountant who had gone to Bangalore to get his education, to get his studies, had come and he was at his home. And come Ranga is here. And they also called the other ones, saying it that they should go to Ranga's home, to Ranga's house, okay, and meet him in order to check, in order to see it whether he had got himself changed or he was the same. Let's go and have a look. Okay, they also proposed it on their part that they should go and have a look and have a glance at his face and also get experience talking with him. Let's go and have a look means आओ हम चलें और देखें. All the people put there the proposal with each other, saying it that now they should not get any delayed and they should go very soon to the house of Ranga and meet him and see it whether he had changed or not. Attracted by the crowd, I too went and stood in the courtyard and asked. Since the crowd of the people had started moving towards the house of Ranga, the accountant, so being attracted by that crowd, the author also went there and he also stood in the compound of the accountant's house and asked, why have all these people come? Oh, being so much innocent, थोड़ा भोला बन करके. The author put that the question and he asked the people standing in the crowd there, why those old people had come there in the house of the accountant. There is no performing monkey here. The author also told that there was no such a show, monkey show. Monkey performing means there was no such a show being performed by, being displayed by any monkey. ये कोई बंदर का खेल तो हो नहीं रहा है, पर कोई बंदर का खेल तो दिखाया नहीं जा रहा है. जिस प्रकार से उस खेल को देखने के लिए भीड़ इकट्ठी हो जाती है. There is no performing monkey here. He also told the people that there was no such a show being displayed or being presented, okay, by some monkey or in the presence of a monkey. किसी बंदर के को साथ में रख करके, और जैसे कि मदारी जो होता है जैसे बंदर को साथ में रख करके कोई बंदर का खेल दिखाता है गांव में जा करके, कहता है कि बंदर का खेल तो दिखाया नहीं जा रहा है, यहाँ पर कोई मदारी का खेल तो हो नहीं रहा है. A boy, a fellow without any brains, said loud enough for everyone to hear. Oh, in the crowd of the people there was a boy, okay, who was totally brainless, who did not pay any attention to his voice, and he spoke the words enough to be heard, to be attended by each and every person standing in that crowd. He spoke so loudly that each and every person, okay, got themselves fully able to attend the voice of that the boy. What are you doing here then? Oh, that the boy also asked the author what he was doing standing there in the house of the accountant. When he knew it very well that there was no performing monkeys, then what he was doing there? भाई तुम्हें पता है कि यहाँ पर कोई खेल तमाशा तो हो नहीं रहा है, तुम क्या किस लिए खड़े हो यहाँ पर? A youngster, immature and without any manners. The author called that the boy, okay, immature and without any manners, mannerless. The author told that he was really a mannerless child. He did not know how to speak his elder and how to behave with others. Thinking that all these things were now of the past, I kept quiet. The author thought that he should not say any word to that child, since it had already gone in the past, and he remained quite silent and did not speak a single word there. Okay, but now I would like to end up here the chapter, and the remaining part of the chapter would be completed by us in the next lecture. Thank you.